Let me hide this. Hide this. Did I mean it? Yeah, okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the U. Okay.
Huh?
That's being echo. The high school qualifiers. So the way this works is this is the first double elimination tournament. So basically what that means is like your team has to lose twice before you officially get eliminated. But it means you also have a chance to come back. The winner of the losers bracket will play the winner of the winners bracket at the end of the series. So you get like two chances to win essentially. Once we finish this first round of 8 teams, so we'll play through the winners bracket first here, and then we'll display the losers bracket, and then we'll play through all those games as well. So there's a lot more games than just this on this that we'll play. And then the way we do this high school games is the final game between the final two teams, we will play at the final tournament. So you won't know who actually wins yet, but you will know who will be coming to MIT. So let's get started. So first up, we have Pantheon versus Control Alt Defeat. Starting on a new
Pretty
map,
small map here.
4 corners. Tower start off pretty close. This is our first glimpse of the new balance change where power start at level 2.
The only thing that has been changed since Sprint 2,
Yes.
which is a first in recent Battlecode history.
Yes. Control defeat, losing the paint tower pretty quickly here.
Might be
Pantheon
tough
moving
for them
in.
to come back from that.
Yeah, control defeat left with basically no units already. Yeah, and that'll be the first round.
A very fast game.
On Oasis, a much larger map, definitely more sparse ruins as well. Very curious to see how these teams play on this one. Most teams building a lot of money towers. Control defeat looks like they're starting off more strong than Pantheon here, although Pantheon slowly taking over that bottom territory. Resource patterns stacking up on both sides.
It looks like that'll be it for Pantheon.
Yeah, Pantheon just using the splashes more effectively, able to take the second game here. Onto our third map, Plumber
Great
game.
map, Plumber game.
Yes. Pretty spread out start.
The plumbers have already disappeared.
The plumbers are nowhere to be found. Pantheon with the first resource pattern. Control defeat, moving in and taking 2 of Pantheon's towers though. Pantheon looking like they're on the defensive. Just fighting over that center of ruin. Pantheon taking it.
Looks like Pantheon is a little bit more aggressive with attacking towers, and that sort of allowed them to start gaining the lead.
Yeah, Pantheon just quickly turning the tides here, building more resource patterns and just splashing all over the place. We see our first defense tower come in. But Pantheon taking that third game very quickly. Congratulations, Pantheon. Okay, now we have Kjao versus main.py. Back at 4 corners. Both teams looking for opposite symmetry, but not really getting it. Kjao building
Nice,
the
we got a
defense tower.
pretty good defense tower placement there.
Yeah, very good
Not really
placement.
any way to get around it.
That'll probably serve them very well. Blocking those 2 money towers in. Main.py trying to move in, but getting obliterated by the defense towers.
It does seem like main.py might have better economy though right now, just based on what towers they have.
Yeah.
Although we'll see.
Kjao spamming defense towers in the middle.
Could be really powerful.
Yeah, and Kjao taking that first game. Very interesting strategy. Back on Oasis. Defense towers won't be as useful on this very open map here. Main.py looking for some initial exploration on the bottom side. Taking over a ruin in Kjao's territory, but not having enough paint to finish it.
Some interesting pathfinding. I wonder what they were moving towards when they drew those sort of straight lines.
Yeah, but we see main.py with no resource boosts, whereas Kjao is just stacking them up. Not looking great right now.
That's a lot of resource patterns. Very efficiently packed in there.
Yeah, Kjao taking the time to build up their economy will serve them really well here. About to reach 70%.
So many robots.
Yeah, Kjao taking the second game. On to the third. Back on Plumber game. Kjao with an initial attack on the right side. Not getting too far, but using those splashers effectively just to try to disrupt as much as possible.
Once again, they're about to have a whole bunch of resource patterns come into effect.
Yeah, main.py just playing a little too passive for Kjao's defensive strategy here. Yeah, Kjao getting those splashers and moppers going strong. Very strong gameplay. We'll take the third game and we'll move on. Congratulations. All right, on our next game. The Reeler Merlin versus the low power. Back on the small map here. Both teams looking for initial exploration. Reeler Merlin taking the first tower on the right side. We see some
Both kind of struggling to build these towers in the middle just because of all the conflicting paint.
yeah, lots of fighting in the center. No one seems that interested in the center right now, although Reeler Merlin getting pretty close to building the tower. Build a defense tower. Once again,
On
we see
this map, it seems like defense tower in the center is definitely the play. I don't know how these bots know that, but it seems to work well.
yeah. Yeah, we see Reeler Merlin just have so many more units right now. His power is at a disadvantage and will lose this first round. On to the next Oasis. We'll see if Merlin's defense tower strategy gets put into play again on this big map. Lots of money towers right off the bat here. So low power getting the first resource boost in. But Reeler Merlin has some cooking up on the backside.
It does look like Zalal Power probably has much better economy at this moment, though. Starting to equalize a little bit.
Yeah. So low power has so many more chips than Merlin does right now. I don't think they only have one paint tower. That's probably why.
They should
Fighting
really build more because they do not need 30,000
Yeah,
chips.
they have so many chips. Coverage is looking even though, despite that. You probably see some exploration on the sides. Still lots of territory fighting in the center. Reeler Merlin looks like taking just a little bit of an advantage. Grabbing a little
Lots of splashers.
yeah, lots of
taking over territory.
splashers. So many resource patterns being built. Merlin just getting a little bit ahead of the splashers and just dominating in the center, taking the second game. All right. Back on this longer map. Defense tower right away. Interesting. Our Merlin. Bending off the low power in the center. We'll see if they build another one. Looks like they're going for a paint tower down there, but didn't quite make it. So low power trying to take that defense tower, but
It's too strong.
it's too strong. With so few units. Merlin taking the opportunity to build a ton of moppers. Are now looking pretty even on coverage. But it looks like Merlin has more units right now. Almost twice as many. Just waiting for that opportunity to push the offensive.
And there they go with the splashers.
Yep, there they come. Merlin sweeping through, taking the third game. Congratulations, Merlin. All right, on to our next Spark versus Mark, the age-old battle. We'll see who's the better team. Spark aggressively looking for the bottom right ruins right now. Might be taking the first. Ooh, Mark blocks the ruin
One
creation.
tiny annoying little piece of
No
paper there.
moppers left to clear that out. And Spark's units will die down there.
Wow, crazy how just one tile can make such a big difference.
Yeah. Well, teams fighting in the center. Lots of
We get another defense tower. I don't know how all of these bots know to put a defense tower there, but it seems to work very well.
yeah. Mark slowly losing territory here, running out of bots.
And we've never seen someone come back after those defense towers are placed in the
Yeah.
middle.
Defense towers is looking very strong right now. Spark taking the first match. Back on Oasis. Spark taking putting seemingly randomly placed resource patterns in the middle of the map.
Yeah, very interesting strategy.
Yeah. Mark looking to pack them in tighter than Spark does. But despite that, Mark not able to get many to actually succeed right now. Yeah, Spark is
just
looking
has
strong.
so many robots.
Yeah, the chip economy is looking very good for Spark. And they will probably take this second game. On to Plumber. Spark grouping up units and looking to build money towers as quickly as possible. Mark looking for a quick offensive. Looking for, yeah, taking out a lot of Spark's pain, trying to disrupt those
Mark
resource
has
patterns.
a lot more coverage here.
Yeah, Mark.
Let's see if Spark can come back.
Mark's looking a lot stronger right now than in this game. Spark with just not enough towers. Mark definitely taking advantage of that. Coming in and taking the third game, putting it at 2-1. Onto a new map, defense tower. This map definitely interesting. Requires a bit more effort to get through to the other side. Definitely a more defender sided map.
It looks like Mark has no units, or
Yeah, Mark has no
just
paint
a few.
tower.
For some reason, one soldier just kind of vibing over there.
Despite
Maybe out of
the
paint.
despite the wall in the middle, Mark was able to get through, or Spark was able to get through and take out Mark's paint tower. I think Mark might be cooked in this game. Yeah, Mark. Losing running out of towers, and Spark will take the third game. Congratulations, Spark. All right. Now we have Pantheon versus Kajal. Back on the small map. Pantheon taking the first towers in the bottom right. Kajal, though, also has their paint towers in the top side. Will be enough versus Pantheon's money economy.
Kajau took out one tower on the middle left there.
Kajal building a defense tower. Looks like they're prioritizing paint towers, which is very interesting. But they'll be strongly defended. Although Pantheon sneaks in and takes out one of those paint towers. The defense tower is just not in a great spot right there. If someone can claim the center, I'd be a little bit better for defending.
Pantheon maybe starting to come back a little bit.
Yeah, Pantheon turning the tides here.
It's interesting how on this map, the teams don't tend to like split into one side versus the other side of the map. They kind of just mix together.
Pantheon just barely taking that coverage will take the first game. Back on Oasis. Kajal with an exploratory strategy, painting as they go. Getting that initial coverage boost. But Pantheon building up their economy, taking back the coverage lead. Both teams looking pretty even on resource patterns right now. But Pantheon just have so many more units. And that will just be too much for Kajal, unless they can come back, but no, Pantheon taking the second game here. On to the third shell. A very enclosed map here. There is a way through, multiple ways through. We'll see how these teams fare. Kajal trying to build resource patterns on the right side, but just doesn't fit a single one in there. Unfortunately, the fixed resource pattern math not working out in this one. Pantheon looking way stronger in terms of towers.
So many towers.
Kajal are just getting a little bit confused on that right side.
Both teams do seem to be struggling a bit with the resource patterns on this map.
Yeah.
Although Pantheon has managed to build a few.
Yes, Pantheon able to fit despite the confusing layout. And Pantheon taking that third game. Congratulations, Pantheon. All right. Now we have Spark versus Reeler Merlin. Back on the small map.
Very chaotic start to this
Yeah,
game.
lots of chaos initially. Both teams clobbering over each other's paint. No one able to build really any towers, although Reeler Merlin getting their first two towers on the bottom right side. Spark
Got that defense tower in the middle.
looking on the back foot, but especially with Merlin's defense tower. Two defense towers now. Spark's gonna have a very tough time coming back from that. Merlin slowly chipping away at Spark's level 3 paint tower. Spark trying to kill that defense tower, but just unable to get
Basically
through.
impossible to get through the middle of the map at this point.
Yeah, Spark definitely on the back foot. And Spark will lose this first round. Back on Oasis. Merlin looking for an interesting initial exploratory play here. Looking for that initial money tower takeout, but doesn't quite happen. We see our first resource patterns coming in. Spark looking to attack a little bit, but not many units to back them up. Splasher is going and disrupting resource patterns. Very effective.
Seems Spark maybe just doesn't have enough paint towers right now to make many units.
Yeah, Merlin definitely on the defensive. Spark looking strong. Just waiting for that attack to happen. You see soldiers slowly filling up on paint. Here they come. Spark taking over the map. And that will be the game. Putting the score at 1-1. Back on this interesting map. We'll see how these teams do.
See if they can do any better with the resource patterns.
Yeah, it looks like.
It does look like Spark has a smarter algorithm.
And Merlin as well. Yeah, both teams getting some patterns off. Lots of skirmishing. Spark taking advantage of that top side though, and looking for the offensive. Spark just dominating the sides of the map. Moving in on Merlin's territory will quickly take this game. Back on defense tower again.
Both teams off to a roughly equal start.
Yeah, a lot happening in the middle, although Spark
Not many units. for
very low
Spark,
on
though.
units right now. Might be
Again,
pretty
it seems
bad.
like it's probably due to their lack of paint, although it's hard to say.
Yeah, we have that one level 3 paint tower. I think the money towers are running out of paint. Spark able to get through though and trying to take out Merlin's money tower on the bottom side. Both teams looking honestly fairly even right now. A little bit of fighting in the side.
It looks a little bit doomed for Spark, though, with basically no units.
Yeah, Spark only has one money tower left as well. They basically can only spawn towers on the side. They build a paint tower, but their money tower goes down. That might be it for them if they can't come back
They
and
do
build
have
another
a few
tower.
units now, though.
We see some resource patterns coming in, but just no towers. And that might be it. I think Spark is out of money. Yeah, I think that'll be it. Putting the score at 2-2 on Starburst. Another fairly small map. No ruins in the center, interestingly. So that'll put interesting gameplay mechanics or dynamics in the center here. Both teams fighting for resource patterns, which is interesting in the center because they're so vulnerable. Looks like Merlin taking a lot of territory right away. Spark definitely on the back foot right now in terms of coverage and economy.
It's still anyone's game, though. Very possible for them to come back.
Yeah, no one able to get resource patterns in the center here. Merlin desperately trying, but Spark keeps interrupting. Merlin slowly encroaching on Spark's territory. Spark trying
This
to
may
fight
be the
back, but
game.
I don't think it's going to be enough. And Merlin taking the game. Congratulations, Merlin. Okay, on to our last game for the winners bracket. We have Pantheon versus Merlin.
A new map, MIT.
Yes. Very, very, very open map. If teams can find the top side, that would be
And
very
just
huge for them.
fill it in with paint. They
Yep.
can win with basically
Looks like
without fighting.
Pantheon finds it first. Looking to build as many towers as possible. Merlin sort of seems to be going over there, but not committing enough. Finally finds it. But Pantheon having the advantage right now. Merlin looking strong on the bottom side. But Pantheon with more patterns
Seems
might
they
have the
discovered the
advantage
top
here.
of the map before Merlin was able to.
Yeah. Yeah, Pantheon definitely with the advantage takes this first game. On to Portal now. Lots of ruins on this map, fairly open. We're seeing a lot less rush strategies this time around compared to Sprint 2. I think rushing has become a little more difficult. Merlin taking the first couple towers in the center and building a defense tower. That'll be tough for Pantheon to come back from that. Pantheon looking to expand on the sides though, building up their econ. Currently has a tower advantage, but Merlin building the second defense tower in the center. Pantheon looking to attack it, but doesn't have quite enough units to.
Pantheon does generally have better economy, though, so it seems like it is very possible for them to come back.
Yeah, it's definitely anyone's game right now. Pantheon defense tower is leveled up as well. Pantheon surging in with many units, sort of trying to take out the towers, somewhat ignoring the defense towers, and Pantheon taking the second game just by sheer coverage. We on onto the best. Ian is the best, so he gets his own map. Very, very open map once again. Lots of ruins. Both teams looking to expand as quickly as possible. Pantheon has a bit more velocity. We'll see what Merlin can do about this. Merlin trying to expand, but Pantheon just taking advantage and swooping in. And Pantheon will quickly take this final game. Congratulations, Pantheon. So now we will show the losers bracket. So what this basically means is anyone that lost on this side will show up on this side. And then the final winner of this will play against Pantheon in the final tournament. So let's start off with main.py versus Cut Sandstone on Crab. Pretty interesting map. Not super open and also not a ton of ruins on this one. Main.py looking strong at the start here. Cut Sandstone. Filling in slowly, but seems definitely on the back foot in terms of econ.
Now both roughly equal, I would say.
Yeah, Pantheon Sandstone catching up pretty well. And Main Pie building a defense tower. But Main Pie has so many more units right now.
So many attempts at resource patterns, basically none of them working.
They're all failing here. Some of them should fit, but yeah.
On Cut Sandstone side, none of them do.
Yeah, Main Pie just overwhelming number of units. We'll take the first game. I know a very small map. Paintball. Either team really interested in rushing right now. Both opting to build towers as quickly as possible. We'll get some down. Main Pie looking to defend theirs with their moppers. Cleaning up any moppers that come into their range.
Seems like Main.Pie can't afford to build the towers for a moment there.
Yeah, Main Pie does manage to build another money tower, but Cut Sandstone moving in. Main Pie takes out Cut Sandstone's money tower, going for their level 2. Cut Sandstone with no units left won't be able to defend this. And that will be the second game by Main Pie. On to our third, Maze. Very, very big map. A little bit of tricky pathfinding here. Let's see what these teams are prepared.
We'll see how the bug nav does. Some bots just kind of getting lost in random places with no towers.
Yes. But in any case, there's still enough opportunity to cover enough of the board. See how these teams can what they can do. Cut Sandstone looking a little bit stronger here.
The team's basically not fighting each other at all, though. Except in the very center.
Yeah, some skirmishing in the center. Teams looking to fill the outside of the board. Looks like Cut Sandstone has a little bit of an advantage right now. Looking pretty divisive.
The chips just exploding for Main.Pie, though. They seem to have much more money towers.
Yeah, he's unable to
Not
figure out what's
sure
going
if
on
it
in the
will,
center. Main.Pie not able to push to that center area. Cut Sandstone dominating in the middle. Just barely a little bit extra coverage might take this game to tiebreakers. Lots of chaos in this map. Cut Sandstone just barely squeaking
Wow,
by with
very, very
coverage.
close game. Honestly, could have been either team. I'm not sure if this map is the greatest.
On to Starburst. We've seen this once before. A pretty simple map. Both teams looking even right off the bat. Looks like one of Main Pie's towers going down right away. And another one, Main Pie losing all their towers. Cut Sandstone coming in.
Still one more paint tower. Oh, spoke too soon.
Spoke too soon. Main Pie with no economy left. Cut Sandstone will quickly take this out and finish off this round. Putting that 2-2. Onto this map that I don't know how to say. This
Me
is
neither.
new. Very open once again. Main Pie initially looking off strong, although Cut Sandstone has way more money towers. Main Pie losing all their money towers by sheer coincidence. Cut Sandstone will probably end
Very
up taking this
unfortunate for
game.
them.
Yeah, very tragic. Cut Sandstone with a crazy comeback. We'll be moving on. All right, now we have Controlled Defeat versus YuYu. Back on Crab.
Both teams once again starting out roughly equal here. Defense tower from YuYu.
Yeah, defense tower, first defense tower we've seen in this game. Looks like Controlled Defeat, not super interested in attacking though, so I won't do too much right now. Yeah, pretty passive, although Controlled Defeat looking to sneak around the top side. Slowly getting a little more coverage here. YuYu just kind
Takes
of
out that defense tower.
losing territory slowly and will take out the defense tower, taking the first game. Back on paintball. Controlled Defeat looking to take out YuYu's money tower. We'll take out that initial money tower. That'll be very tough for YuYu to come back from that. Paint tower looking very vulnerable too. Does survive, but the next soldier comes and takes it out. YuYu with no towers left will quickly lose the second round. Back on Maze.
See how some new teams handle this very interesting map.
Definitely a curveball for some of our competitors here. We'll speed this up. Looks like they finally just found each other in the center. Once teams get going in the middle, We see some fighting. YuYu looking to upgrade their center towers. Definitely has a unit advantage right now. Coverage looking pretty even. YuYu though with the splashers on the left side. Just a little bit stronger, it seems like. Might be able to squeak
Slowly
out the
taking
second
more of the
game.
map. Possible this could go to tiebreakers again, though.
Controlled defeat. Chip economy just building up so much, but with no paint to spend it on. And YuYu,
Getting pretty close to that 70%, but not quite.
yeah, YuYu just has stronger territory coverage. Will take the second round, the third round. Back on Starburst. YuYu looking for some initial splasher gameplay. Going and interrupting controlled defeats territory. Gets the first resource pattern down as well. Looking pretty even as of right now, although controlled defeat has a little bit stronger economy. Controlled defeat gets the resource pattern down. Has a couple more units as well. We'll take it, move in and take that 70%. Taking this game. Congratulations. All right. Now we have Mark versus Ilms. Back on Crab. Pretty even game. Ilms has the money tower advantage. Both teams getting equal resource patterns.
Mark's starting to take over a good percentage of the map, though.
Yeah, Mark getting very close to that 70%. Might just barely does not make it there. Can Ilms defend? Doesn't seem like it. Mark taking that first round. Back on paint. Both teams looking to build.
Seems like the main factor on this map tends to be attacking and which towers you're able to take out first.
Yeah.
Often ends up being the deciding factor on really small maps like this.
Yeah, but we're seeing some interesting gameplay now that rushing is not super common anymore. Both teams opting to build before they attack. Mark had the initial advantage, but it looks like Ilms taking out the money towers of Mark. Mark won't be able to do much to defend against that. Mark taking a loss in the second round. Back on Maze. Speed this up a little bit. We'll see if these teams, how good these teams are able to
Mark
provide
finds the center
coverage.
much more quickly, which might help them out a lot.
Yeah, Mark looking very strong on this map right now. Dominating.
Wow, their pathfinding just seems to know what to do here.
Yeah, Mark just quickly approaching the 70%. Mark taking the third game very quickly on this map. Now on Starburst. Mark looking for some initial resource patterns. They don't get interrupted. Oh, now they have. Ilms not letting that happen. But Mark getting some value out of them. Mark looking for some offensive plays on Ilms' towers.
Their resource patterns get destroyed, though.
It definitely seems like a lot of wasted money. A lot of wasted money in terms of investment. Ilms taking advantage and coming back with splashers, taking over the territory and getting 70%. On to game 5. Once again, a pretty big map. Both teams looking very even out the beginning. Looks like Ilms getting some resource patterns, but
Both
Mark,
teams have a few.
yeah, Mark's getting a little bit of advantage. See your first defense tower coming in right in the center, a very good spot for it by Ilms.
Could still just get overrun with robots, though, quite easily.
We're seeing a defense tower on the top right side as well, inside of Mark's territory. Ilms using that to their advantage, not only to get economy, but also to defend against Mark's attacks. But Mark has just so many units and resource patterns. It won't be enough. And
The
Mark
defense towers definitely slowed Mark down, but not enough.
taking this final game. All right, on to our last of this round. Just low power versus WB. Defense tower right off the bat on the bottom side. Interesting location for it. It is actually defending off some of WB's units. Getting some value out of it. WB not looking like they're in a good spot right now. So low power with a massive unit and tower advantage, especially with that defense tower. Blocking off the WB's path. And low power just coming in and taking all the territory. On to the next. Both teams looking to build once again. This low power unable to defend, unable to mop that paint, but takes out WB's money tower. Build a defense tower as well. WB on the back foot here.
it will be challenging for WB to come back at this point. Not impossible.
Yeah, WB has more units, but the tower deficit is very bad. Keeps getting sniped by that defense tower too. And there goes the paint tower. I think that'll be the game. Okay, putting it at 2-0. Back on Maze. We'll see who has better coverage mechanics. Slow power, quickly taking the center. Exploration, very, very good on this map. Rapidly approaching the 70%. Will they make it? Or will WB be able to defend just in time? Looks like they will. Slow power, taking that third game. Right.
All right, Max, do you want to swap in?
Only a couple games left. Which one of these teams will make it? All right. Cut Sandstone versus Control Defeat. So these teams that are in here come from the winner's bracket when they lose. So it's kind of like a little confusing how they work out, but that's where they came from. On Jail. And remember this map from 2023, definitely a throwback. Pretty small map. A little confusing for Control Defeat painting in the center of those walls there. Taking out Cut Sandstone's initial paint tower. Cut Sandstone left with not many options with no paint left.
Control defeats trying to make a tower in the bottom right, it looks like, but not anymore. Robot died.
It looks
See
like
if they come
they're
back.
broken by that one paint tile with no mopper to clean it out. Will lose their last tower and lose this first match. Back on Plumber game.
Control defeat initially making a bunch of towers.
Control
like-
Defeat looking pretty quick to expand.
But Sandstone's losing a lot of territory right now.
Yeah, the velocity of Control Defeat on this map is just insane. Rapidly approaching 70% here. Swiftly taking that second round. Onto Portal. Cut Sandstone building some defenses in the backside.
It's like no one's able to build towers in the middle yet, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
It's-
middle's looking very contested.
Control defeat might be able to now. Yep, there we go. Taking over the middle.
And Control Defeat taking over the middle. Loses one tower, but just owns a lot of the territory. Cut Sandstone looking to take out those center towers. Lots of fighting. Control Defeat. It's looking a little stronger here. Does manage to take that third game. Congratulations, Control Delete. All right. Mark versus the low power. Back on Jail. Money Tower lost right off the bat. We still have the level 2 still alive. But looks like Mark is kind of stuck on the top side, ignoring their own Money Tower.
Mark has very few units right now.
Yeah,
Think
Mark's
it's kind of over for them.
And Mark definitely on the back foot, getting mopped and soldiered by the low power. Will lose their paint tower. Not looking great. With no paint left to use, they will be losing this first game. Back on Plumber game. Extremely open map. Both teams looking to expand pretty quickly. Low power gets their first resource patterns, but gets interrupted. And builds a defense tower here.
Mark's also building a few resource patterns, but
Mark-
now they have a lot. Wow, that's fast.
Yeah, Mark looking very strong right now. So low power just unable to get those resource patterns in with all of Mark's paint on their territory. And Mark will take the second round. Back on Portal. Pretty even start. Coverage almost exactly the same right now. Towers as well and units.
This time Mark is getting ahead in the center. Oops, their tower died. Guess not anymore. Now it's a low power taking over the center.
Yeah, the low power also sneaking in on the backside, taking out Mark's towers in the back. It's not looking good for Mark right now. His low power with those level 3 towers. Looking very strong. Builds a defense tower right next to Mark's paint tower. Mark will have a very tough time getting out of there. But Mark coming back just a little bit. Gets those units and splashers very effectively.
Resource patterns really aren't being used in this map except for that one. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, Mark turning the tide completely onto low power. Incredible victory. Takes the third game. Back on Ian's map. See a little bit of intermingling in the center here. Other team really sure which side to go on. Both teams expanding pretty rapidly. Mark opting for way more paint towers, which is very interesting. We see Zelo power with the first defense tower on the left side. Zelo with the initial resource pattern advantage, and many defense towers too.
Zillow Power's taking over the bottom side of the map, it looks like, gradually.
Yeah, Zelo power just decimating with those defense towers. Mark has no chance of getting through any of those. Putting it at 2-2 on the lighthouse. Pretty sectioned off map here.
Both teams are competing for the middle right now, it looks like.
Yeah, both teams
Good.
competing and also pretty low on units.
Mark is ahead in the middle, looks like, at least. Oh, they're dying now. Okay. Looks
Well-
like Zillow Power is trying to take over the middle.
He's a little looking for soldiers, but no moppers to help them out. Gets the first resource patterns and defense tower down. Slow looking pretty strong here. Mark with no towers left. It's not gonna be able to come back, and Slow will take this final game. All right. Now we have Spark versus Control at defeat. Back on paintball. We see an initial rush here. Looks like tower getting built. Roger Spark takes it out, but Spark takes it out for a second time. But Spark, Control at defeat, almost taking out Spark's tower. Not quite. The game definitely looking a little imbalanced here.
Spark is attacking Control, defeats towers right now. It looks like they're attacking all of them at once, so. it's
Yeah,
not
Control
feeling
defeat
it
with
yet.
no units, not really defending much here. Control defeat does build that tower once again, right in Spark's
Flash is
face.
coming in.
Control defeat coming back just a little bit, building those moppers and cleaning up their territory. Looks like we're getting back to being even. Spark lost their momentum.
Spark's trying to build a few new towers right now. It looks like they're probably going to succeed.
Yeah, Spark sneak attacks and takes out the towers, taking this game. All right, back on this map. Lots of fighting in the center. We see our first defense tower coming out by Spark. Control defeat, matching those.
Spark's building a huge number of resource patterns. Looks like they're probably going to. Oh, defense towers too. They're probably going to take over the center in a minute.
Yeah, Spark definitely on the back foot here, but those defense towers looking very strong against Control defeat's army. Spark with a unit advantage. Looking to push. Control
So-
defeats defense tower, holding them back just a little bit, but not quite enough.
Spark is getting stuck in the end in the bottom left, bottom right.
Yeah, Spark a little bit stuck on the bottom side, but might just make it out. Spark with just so many units.
Yeah, they're gonna win for sure.
Definitely gonna win. Spark taking the second game. Back on Starburst. Initial towers getting taken down. Spark, slight advantage here in terms of towers, but not too much. Gets the first resource pattern down. Middle looking pretty contested. Spark looking to splash her over the whole center, but looking pretty noisy right now.
Control defeat going for the level 2 tower on the top left, which is kind of interesting. It's really far from their territory.
Yeah, looks like they maybe have like a symmetry thing for looking for initial towers. Takes out the level 2 on Control defeat side. Spark moving in, taking that 70%. Congratulations, Spark. Now we have Kja versus Zelo Power. On paintball.
Our defense tower is built by Kja. The Zillow Power is gradually attacking the tower in the top left.
Yeah, both teams taking out each other's level 2 towers right now. Zelo Power gets taken out, but Kja does survive. Kja definitely has the advantage here, especially with that defense tower.
The
Yeah,
sponsors are coming in.
Zelo Power
Yeah.
not enough units to defend.
Yep.
Why do we keep in this map? All right, back in this pretty big map. Looking pretty even here. Slow Power has pretty good exploration, getting a lot of the map pretty quickly.
Kja is kind of confined to the bottom left, it looks like.
Yeah,
They're not
Kja
really
getting
exploring
boxed
that.
in, it seems like, although closing the gap in terms of coverage.
Now they're going to the bottom right, so maybe they have a chance to come back
Yeah.
with a bunch of units.
We see a lot of defense towers in the center of the map, which is really interesting. They must do some sort of heuristic based on how many bots are nearby or something. But both teams kind of sectioned into their own areas. Both teams with a lot of units as well. So Low Power has a lot of soldiers though.
Zilla Power's gradually trying to push through and build a few extra towers, it looks like. Yep, they're killing off the defense towers.
Definitely a lot of bots in this game. Another team really able to make a ton of progress here.
HS defense towers are doing really well, stopping the rush.
Yeah, defense towers looking strong. Slow Power has twice as many resource patterns though. So I'd imagine they slowly will overcome KJ's army. But looking pretty even right now. KJ or Slow Power is still holding that coverage lead. If we go to tiebreakers, we'll definitely take the win. But KJ pushing back just enough.
Zilla Power has an insane number of chips. That's actually crazy.
The chips is exponential, guys.
Yeah.
This is really interesting. Neither team able to make that much progress. So Low Power might just win on tiebreakers here. Can KJ come back in time? It looks like they won't be able to. So Low Power is taking the second game on the Starburst. Looks like Low Power losing the first tower on the bottom side. Low Power looking to take a revenge on that money tower, but doesn't quite make it all the way.
KJ is coming in through the center. Let's see what they do. Other units are gradually dying. So yeah, it looks like Zilla Power is trying to take the center with some splashers. Might succeed.
Yeah. KJ with the first resource pattern. Slow Power unable to interrupt it. Getting pretty close, but just not quite enough. Slow Power, though, has twice as many towers right now. We'll see how that works out for them. These teams seem pretty even in terms of strategy and things. But KJ with a little bit of an advantage coming in just a little bit. KJ left with no money tower. What are they gonna do? They have a lot of units. Can they build a tower in time? This might be the end of the game for them if they can't.
Not really focusing on building a tower and gradually losing territory. So
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
KJ might be a little cooked in this game.
yeah, Zilla Power is gradually trying to
Yep.
inch into the level
Low
3 tower.
powers takes the third game. Back on this map. Pretty swift start. Both teams looking strong, although Low Power has way more towers and resource patterns right away. KJ looking like they're on the back foot. KJ getting surrounded by towers. Yeah, Low Power just moving in, rapidly approaching 70%. That will be a swift victory for Zillow Power. Congratulations. All right. Now we have Spark versus Zillow Power on Snowman. Once again, a pretty small map. A little bit of space between the towers. Zillow Power finds out those level 2 paint towers right away. Gets so close to taking out, but just not quite.
Looks like Spark has an initial tower advantage. See if that pays off.
Zillow Power with a 1 HP level 2 paint tower down there. Or Spark, sorry. Barely holding on. Zillow Power with that defense tower. No money tower, though. They might be cooked. Spark just barely hanging on. Clutches out this game. We'll take the first game. Onto box.
This map's a little more closed off than the previous one. So
Yeah, a little similar to one of the other ones, but not quite as closed off. A little bit smaller as well.
Mhm.
Slow Power losing one of their money towers. Spark controlling the center. Both teams fighting for those center 2 towers. Slow Power comes out with the first defense tower on the top side and resource
Spark's
pattern.
attacking immediately. Looks like they might succeed. Yep.
Yeah, Spark going for that defense tower, getting pretty close to taking it out. Not quite. Sending in those soldiers. A couple more and it'll be gone.
Almost there. Can they do it?
Other than that, though, both teams playing pretty passive. Not a lot of units going on. Spark looking to build the resource patterns up now.
Zilla Power has a lot of chips. The Spark's also getting a lot of chips right now. It looks like they're just spending them faster.
Yeah, some teams just unwilling to build paint towers. We see another defense tower come in, but once again, no paint tower.
Again, Spark's attacking the defense tower, and it looks like they're attacking pretty fast this time. So they might. Yep, there we go. It died.
Yep. Spark moving in with a coordinated rush, taking out all of Slow Power's units. Taking the second game. Back on Shell. Very tricky map. Both teams looking a little confused. Both teams taking their respective territories, though. Spark finds the bottom side, and Slow Power finds the top. Looking extremely even. Slow with a massive econ advantage, though.
Spark's moving in on the right. Looks like
Let's-
they're able to take out a bunch of territory.
But Spark with those paint towers, Low just not having enough paint towers to build enough units to keep up with their money towers. Spark uses that as their advantage and just takes all of the territory. And they will take this final game. Congratulations, Spark. All right, on to our last game. So the winner of this game will play against Pantheon in the finals. We have the Real Merlin versus Spark. Starting off with a very tricky map once again. We'll see how these teams fare on Maze.
Spark took over the center immediately.
Yes, Spark looking very strong in the middle.
Also exploring the top a little bit, but not really painting much.
Once again, only one paint tower, upgrading all their money towers, but oh, okay, now we have some paint towers on the bottom side. Real Merlin definitely on the back foot.
Spark's economy is just skyrocketing.
Yeah, these uncontested towers and that defense tower coming in in the middle, blocking off Merlin's entrance. Spark might take a swift victory on this map. Looks like their units are just getting absolutely gargantuan.
Spark took over all the towers at the top. Yep.
Yep.
Looks like just have so many units.
Spark looking really strong, taking
Yep.
this first match. Back on four corners. We'll see if how the team decides to rush here. Spark looking for an initial play. Doesn't go for the initial towers, but goes for the other side. Merlin definitely on the back foot here with only one unit looking to build a tower. Spark could definitely interrupt pretty easily.
Merlin building up the tower on the top. Looks like they're trying to take over that section.
Yeah, Spark does get one down, so does Merlin. Spark looking stronger on the bottom side. Merlin scouting at the top area. Might be planning an attack against Merlin, or against Spark. Merlin has many more moppers though, kind of looking to block out Spark's soldiers.
Spark's gradually taking over the middle. It looks like they might try to push through and attack some towers in a minute.
Yeah, both teams taking their respective corners as intended.
Merlin successfully defends the center.
Merlin with the first defense tower, sort of blocking in Spark into their corner. Two defense towers in the center. Huge play by Merlin. Spark is going to have a very tough time getting out of there. Merlin, with the unit advantage, moves in on Spark's territory.
Looking to attack the level 3 towers, which is going to be challenging, but I think they might be able to pull it off.
Yeah, they only have mobbers up there right now. If they can get some soldiers up there, they can take them out. Soldiers on Merlin's territory kind of just getting stuck up there for some reason. Defense tower is level 2.
Going in for the bottom right now, which they weren't looking at before, but it has no units. And there we go.
Yeah, Merlin
Congratulations to Merlin.
taking that second game, 70%. Back on Lighthouse.
Towers look about even right now.
Merlin
units are also
initially
pretty much
attacking that Spark's paint tower, but doesn't quite make it all the way.
defense tower right in the center by Spark. That's going to really help.
Merlin's paint tower, money tower on the bottom side, completely unguarded. Spark looking to slowly chip away at its health. Just almost kills it, but not quite.
Merlin gradually losing territory, especially in the middle.
Yeah, Spark taking out Merlin's money tower. Merlin definitely on the back foot here with, I think, no money towers left. Leaving that bottom side completely unguarded. Spark will quickly take this game. Possibly. Merlin still has some units left.
Looks like something's going a little bit wrong with their pathfinding, but
Merlin with the units. Can that be just enough to build the tower? Then get a money tower down, they can come back from this.
looks like Merlin really isn't aiming for building a tower though. Not really sending units over there. Maybe
Yeah.
they just don't have enough economy.
They have enough, they might have enough paint, but might not have enough chips.
Yeah. Looks like
Looking to build a resource pattern, that's not going to help them a lot here.
Spark is trying to push through in the top right, but will they succeed?
Yeah, Merlin putting up a very strong defense given their current situation. But loses their paint tower, and that will be the game. Putting it at 2-1. Can Merlin come back? Once again on the small map paintball. Neither team looking for a rush here. Although Spark fighting that initial money tower, looking to take it out. Merlin
Gets a defense
trying to
tower.
defend, just barely takes it out, but Spark with that last soldier takes out their money tower. Gets the defense tower down, which will help him with some econ. Merlin definitely on the back foot here. Looking great on territory though. Might be using those sponsors to their advantage. If they can just squeak out 70%, they can take this game pretty quickly.
Looks like Merlin's defense tower is working really well. Spark isn't really trying to attack it at all. Oh, there we go. Yeah. But the defense tower successfully defended the territory right there.
Yeah, Spark not really sure what to do against the defense tower. Merlin looking to keep that territory pretty even despite their disadvantage right now. They have no chips left. All they can rely on is their defense tower. Spark with a massive chip advantage. Very slowly but surely building units with that one paint tower. Merlin might be able to come back from this. Especially if they get that money tower built.
Sparks going in for an attack in the defense tower, but it looks like they just don't have enough units.
Spark looking for that second money tower. Does get it down. That'll be very devastating for Merlin.
Oh, now
Merlin.
Spark is a defense tower. This is gonna be interesting. Looks like Merlin can't really attack it because Spark's offense is pretty good.
It looks like Merlin just barely does not have enough chips to build that bottom tower there. If they can get that down, that would be very, very good for them. Spark just needs to walk in, and they finally do it, but it's not a bunny tower, it's a paint tower. Not what they needed right now. Looking to build
Spark
another
successfully
paint
killed
tower.
the
This
defense
is not going to
tower.
do it. Defense tower is gone. They have no chip economy. This is not looking good for Merlin. Spark moving in, taking out those towers, and that will be it. Spark taking this final game. Congratulations, Spark. We will be seeing Spark and Pantheon at the finals. Congratulations to them. Yay! But yeah, thank you guys for watching.